Hello, sensitive souls. It's Stephanie Redfeather, and this is the final peek inside my new book, The Evolutionary Empath, a practical guide for heart-centered consciousness. I've been recording a few short videos to give you some more information about the book to help you decide if it's for you, if it resonates with you, or if you think it's a good fit for somebody you know. So in this final video, I want to address the bigger picture of why empaths are here in the first place. And I've had a couple people ask me, Stephanie, how can you say we as humanity are in an ascending phase of consciousness? How is the planet, quote, getting better when it seems like everywhere that we look, there's tragedy, there are examples of us moving backwards? And it is a totally fair question. And it's not one that's easy to answer, but I want to offer a comparison, if you will, that I know is helpful for me. So if you think about moving from winter into spring, we know that the temperature gets warmer. And every day, however, is not necessarily warmer than the day before. So especially here in the Midwest, you know, we might have a 60-degree day and then we're back down to 30 degrees and then hop up to 50 degrees and then we might be at 40, you know, rain, sun, a little snow, a little back and forth. But if you chart the temperature from day to day to day as we move from winter to spring, the trend is that the weather's getting warmer. It just doesn't look like that every day. And so if you back that out into a grander cycle of time, I believe we are ascending in consciousness. There's enough critical mass, enough people have reached a higher frequency, a higher vibration, a higher level of awareness that we are moving forward. Time is speeding up. And you know, as we might track temperature from day to day to day to day, and one day's high and the next day's low, if you look at that in terms of geologic time and human development time, we might be up for a year and down for a year, or up for 5 years and down for 10 years. You know, so if you kind of stretch that example out into a longer period of time, we are still trending, if you will, towards higher consciousness. We are still moving in that direction. And one of the things I talk about in my book is this greater cosmic perspective, and I characterize it in terms of something called the Great Year. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here because there's some science to it and I don't want to bore you, and I cover all of that in the book. But over 30 ancient cultures have documented this grand cycle of time. And I subscribe to the 24,000 year model. Some people say it's 26,000 years. There's a reason for that discrepancy. But in general, 24,000 years, 26,000 years. For half of that period of time, humanity is ascending in consciousness. For half of that period of time, we're descending in consciousness. So you might be familiar with the Greek ages. So Iron Age, Bronze Age, Silver Age, Golden Age, and then Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, and then back down to Iron Age. So it's this cycle. And we, no matter what resource, no matter what ancient culture or civilization you look at, we may not all agree on exactly when that turn into ascension occurred, but they all pretty much agree that it has happened. We are in a cycle of ascension. And I believe that empaths are here to help humanity evolve to the next level of consciousness. We come into the planet with a refined energetic physiology, with heightened sensitivities, with a slightly different vibration. We are what humans are evolving toward. But right now, we are still the way showers. We are the pioneers. We're the one hacking our way, you know, through the jungle, cutting the path. There's a quote from the movie Moneyball that says, "The first guy through the wall always gets bloodied." And so collectively, I've coined the term the empathic Big Bang. You know, in geologic time, 100 years, 150 years is a blink of an eye. And so for those of us empaths that have incarnated and are incarnating in the last century to century and a half, we are the ones, first ones through the wall, getting bloodied, if you will. And so let me just take a moment to say, I honor the courage of your soul for choosing to be here on the planet right now at this point in human history, because our presence here is so important as we help entrain the frequency of the planet to a higher vibration. And so I really believe that if you back up to a grand cosmic scale, we are absolutely here on purpose. We are not a random event. We have a mission. There is a reason that you are here. There is a reason that you have the set of qualities that you have. And in my book, The Evolutionary Empath, that's why I called it that. That's why the title became The Evolutionary Empath. That's not what it started out as I kept getting downloads from spirit and this higher level perspective and higher level perspective. The title changed 3 times. And then finally, when it became The Evolutionary Empath, I went, yes, now I get it. Now I get part of the message that I am here to bring forward. So in the beginning of the book, I provide this perspective. I feel like it's one of the gifts that I bring to the world is context. And so if that's important to you to locate yourself inside of this bigger picture, I know for me that helps give me hope. It gives me meaning. It gives me purpose that I can connect to even when I look outside or read the news or watch the TV and just want to cry and curl up in the corner and suck my thumb. So I hope this gives you a little bit more perspective and insight into the evolutionary empath. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thanks so much, sensitive souls.